Hello and welcome back to another week in new genre books. My name is Amelia, and from Locus magazine, I'm about to tell you the top new science fiction, fantasy, and horror books being published the week of January 23rd, 2024. First up, science fiction, we have 6 books. From the lovely Nisi Shawl, we have Kinning, out from Tor in hardcover and ebook. This is a neo-Victorian alternate history science fiction steampunk novel, a sequel to Everfair. The Great War is over, but our hero's stories are far from done. Tink and his sister Belung are traveling the world via air canoe, spreading the spores of a mysterious, empathy-generating fungus. Through these spores, they seek to build bonds between people and help spread revolutionary sentiments of socialism and equality, the ideals that led to Everfair's founding. From Tlotlo Tsamaase, we have Wom City Out from Erihwan in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a dystopian Afrofuturist science fiction novel with elements of body horror. A woman put in a borrowed body 15 years after death finds her police officer husband tracks her every move, and then an accidental death complicates everything. A first novel. From near Yaniv, we have The Good Soldier, out from Shadowpaw Press in trade paperback and ebook. This is a science fiction novel. The Imperial Navy has long been at war. It is a well-oiled machine, a mighty galactic power in which nothing can go wrong. Enter Pre-Private Joseph Fux, spelled F-U-X, self-proclaimed idiot, second class. When Fux arrives on board the light frigate Spitz, look, insert your own puns here, things immediately begin to go wrong. It's not the Pre-Private's fault. It never is. Accidents just happen when he's around, and the always cheerful Fux bungles his way through one job after another, making more than a little chaos along the way. From Seth Dickinson, we have Exordia, out from Tor.com in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a science fiction novel. Anna Sinjari, refugee, survivor of genocide, disaffected office worker, has a close encounter that reveals universe-threatening stakes. Enters Sisrin, a many-headed serpent alien who is on the run from her own past. Sisrin and Anna are inexorably drawn to each other. Anna must join a small team of civilians, soldiers, and scientists to investigate a mysterious broadcast, an unknowable horror. If they can manage to face their own demons, they just might save the world. From Dinesh Thiru, we have debut novel Into the Sunken City, out from Harper Teen in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult post-apocalyptic retelling of Treasure Island. Jin, orphaned and barely getting by at her family's inn, signs on with a drifter with a plan to dive for gold in the drowned ruins of Las Vegas. From Andrew Hunter Murray, we have The Sanctuary, out from Blackstone Publishing in hardcover, trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a near-future science fiction novel. Ben is a painter from the crowded, turbulent city. For 6 months, his fiancée Kara has been working on the remote island of Sanctuary Rock, the private estate of millionaire philanthropist Sir John Pemberley. Now she has decided to break off their engagement and stay there for good. Ben travels to the island to try to win Kara back, but as Ben begins to traverse Pemberley's kingdom, he begins to uncover the truth of the apparently perfect society the enigmatic Sir John is building. I mean, why wouldn't we trust an enigmatic rich guy to architect a new society? Isn't that how social revolution normally works? Next up, horror, we have 2 titles. From Natalie Gibson, we have The Last Immortal, out from BHC Press in hardcover and ebook. This is a gothic horror novel. Lady Romelia Winmore has holes in her memory, but even when an arranged marriage frees her from a cruel asylum, her husband's household of bloodthirsty immortals is even worse. There's a line from a Kelly Link story that comes to mind here: out of the frying pan and into the next frying pan. You'd think an arranged marriage would be better than an asylum, but it is a horror novel. It's always going to get worse than a horror novel. From Tyffany Neiheiser, we have debut Not Dead Enough, out from Viking in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult thriller/horror novel. Charlotte survived the crash that killed her abusive boyfriend, but now it looks like he's stalking her, and she doesn't believe in ghosts, which, if you're gonna be firm in your beliefs, shouldn't be a problem, right? Next up, fantasy, we have 5 titles. From Saara El-Arifi, we have Faebound, out from Del Rey in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a queer fantasy romance novel, the first in a trilogy inspired by West African lore. Elven tribes fight a forever war amongst themselves, but exiled soldiers discover the Fae, long believed extinct, still live in a strange underground world. From J.R. Ward, we have Mine, out from Simon & Pocket in paperback and ebook. This is a paranormal romance novel, 3rd and final in the lair of the Wolven series. In this finale, Lydia and Daniel are bracing themselves for his inevitable decline. They must go on a rescue mission that will put both their lives in danger. From Sue Bristow, we have The Fairfolk Out from Europa Editions in trade paperback and ebook. This is a Faustian fairy tale fantasy novel. In 1959, 8-year-old Felicity accepts a gift from the Fairy Queen. As an adult, she's constantly visited by the Queen's companions, wreaking havoc with her friendships and love life. Felicity finally begins to explore the true nature of the Fairfolk with the help of a folklorist professor to try to find out what the fairies want from her. They always want something in these stories. Probably we should get that contract in writing when we make deals with the Fairfolk, and make sure that the contract is enforceable in your local county court, because otherwise it'll be enforced in the Unseelie court. Look, jurisdiction is important, I suppose, unless it's a federal thing. From C.K. McDonnell, we have Relight My Fire Out from Bantam UK in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a humorous fantasy novel, fourth in the Stranger Times series, about a weekly newspaper dedicated to investigating the unexplained and inexplicable, including an outbreak of grave robbing in Manchester. From L.E. Modesitt, we have From the Forest, out from Tor in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a fantasy novel, the first in a new storyline in the Saga of Recluse series, 23rd in the overall series. Alikal hides his Magus abilities as he climbs the ranks of Sayador's Mirror Lancers. Finally, in anthology, we have one title. From Edward Willett, we have Shapers of Worlds, Volume 4, out from Shadowpaw Press in trade paperback, hardcover, and ebook. This is an original anthology of 19 stories for reprints, all by authors featured on the World Shapers podcast in its 4th year. Authors with new stories include David Boop, Sarah A. Hoyt, Sherilyn Kenyon, and Jean-Louis Trudel. Illustrated by Wendy Nordell. Funded through Kickstarter. That wraps up this week. Thanks for spending some time with us. Come see us at Locus Mag or at Locus Magazine on most platforms, www.locusmag.com, or our Patreon. Please mush buttons and leave us a comment. We'll be here next week with more new books.